Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Henry Confidential, and we are switching things up a little bit. Obviously, you guys will get more in detail of like other stuff with the channel, but as you see the name change, Henry Confidential, Movie Talk talks movies. I forgot what because I did a group page as well. My voice is a little out right now because today the Jets won, huge Jets. Jets. But with that said, we are going to talk about my personal top 128 favorite movies of all time, and we're going to break it up into 4 sub brackets. So the sub brackets are going to be randomized on the page itself, but I separated them because whenever you do these brackets, you always have a situation where it's like, oh man, they're so different. How do I really even like judge, the two? So I tried to, at least for the first quote unquote set round, for 32 at a time. I wanted to do it to at least everyone can gauge their own opinion between two and not have it be so weird. So the first one is going to be the more the whole cliche. If these two were right in front of me right now, which one I'd rather watch? So it's going to be 32 of those movies, but these are going to be the lighthearted versions, the comedies, the low stakes, the stuff like that. So I have 4 guests right now. 3 are in the background. One's going to be joining last minute. But first up, we have Brian Michaels. Brian, you are generally familiar with my favorite movies of all time, but there's always going to be some things that I throw in and out and take out, but also the concept of the bracket stuff. So you don't care about my opinion anymore. You just care about your opinion on 2 movies. You're going to have some fun with this. And what do you kind of think going in?
Well, I mean, you and I are hit and miss as far as our taste. You like some things I don't, and vice versa, and there's other ones we completely agree on. So, I mean, that'll be fun to see. Plus, I just like to be able to criticize people's opinions. So, how it goes.
Exactly. It might throw a little roast in there. Speaking of a light roast, Jay Burns. Jay, you once again,
I see what you did there.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn.
That was just an unfortunate coincidence. I swear to God, that was a legit unfortunate coincidence. So my opinion, generally speaking. You definitely don't agree with everything, but you are familiar with most of it. What are your thoughts on this? Okay.
Oh, man, I can't wait to burn this shit to the ground at this point. No, I
like the match.
Yo, for real. Matalo, Bane. No, I can't wait. We're a movie trivia team for a reason. Hashtag Team 21%. We out here. We're keeping it funny. Hopefully. And hopefully nobody gets too fucking brittle about that statement that you just made, because holy shit. It's not like Jeremy Potter is saying that all fucking burn survivors are wrinkly.
I mean, they're not. With that said, Jordan Pierce Owens joining the group. You're familiar with brackets. You join a lot over on the Movie Hero Network, but it's my personal favorite movies. And you are newer in terms of like my friend. I mean, obviously we talk movies a lot, but you don't know everything about my taste and what I like. So going into this, do you feel like you're going to be surprised about some of my things, or you feel like you kind of have a general idea of what I like?
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. I think I've been picking up a little bit as it goes, and I look forward to seeing even more. And again, like Brian said, judging you, but nicely, because I love you.
Judging you.
Jordan, you have to sing all of your answers tonight.
That is the rule.
Okay, that's going to be more problematic to you than to me.
No, it's going to be problematic to Sony BMG. Stop right now.
Brian's going to regret that in about 5 minutes.
Because it's only one answer, and you're still singing.
I feel like you'll be fine. Too soon. Oh shit, canceled again. It's hashtag 21%.
Already
21% of my life has been canceled. All right, so with that said, we're gonna jump in.
Only 21% of your life hasn't been canceled.
That's probably 1% hasn't. With that said, we're waiting on Jake Tato or Antonio Chavez, whoever kind of jumps in.
It's a weird sized bottle. What size is that?
1.5 liters.
Let's just put it this way. I send certain pictures to people with a travel deodorant for a reason. Anyway.
It's a liter of cola.
God damn it, Farva.
Anyway, so when Tato and Antonio jump in, we'll involve them. So if it is an even number, we'll do the tiebreaker of just top to bottom based on kind of how it goes on screen. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So talk about the movies however you guys want to. We'll go about it. So our first matchup is going to be Stand By Me versus School of Rock. So it's going to go Henry, Brian, Jay, and JPO, and I'll tiebreaker, go down, and then hopefully odd numbers soon.
Hopefully,
All right,
this was an easy to customize and participants can see seating.
All right, I got you, dog.
No, you skipped it. You skipped it. You had the Henry bracket. You still fucked it up. Oh, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I got another one for you.
I was gonna say, what happened to the red one? Like,
Hey.
All right, so with that said, I bought myself enough time. This is one of those ones where ironically, see, there we go. We have Tato in there. So now we don't have to have a tiebreaker. All right, so Stand By Me is an emotional one for me. So it just sometimes how the numbers went, it would have gone into a different bracket, but I had to, have 32. So there's enough fun here that it ended up in this one. But I got to go School of Rock. It was my favorite movie growing up. I literally just rewatched it yesterday or 2 days ago because I was having a bad day, and it got me out of the dumps immediately. It is the one that just makes me feel good. I quote it all the time. This movie is the bee's knees. So I'm going to go School of Rock. Brian.
Yeah, for me, it's totally Stand By Me. I mean, this is like kind of the ultimate coming of age movie. It's got a great young cast who all went on to be stars, of course. School of Rock, I enjoyed when I saw it. I don't think I've ever watched it again since the first time I watched it, though. It was like kind of like one of those, it's fine. But again, maybe because I'm older, it was an age thing, like you said. Who knows?
There you go. All right, so that's 1-1. Going over to Jay.
The Legend of the Rent was way past due, my guy. I am the exact opposite of Brian, as a matter of fact. I don't think I've rewatched Stand By Me since it came out, but I have rewatched School of Rock so many times. I love this movie. Henry, you're not the only one who quotes this. I was doing the phone thing. Yes, this is Ed Schneebly. When you popped in, so definitely my answer is going to be School of Rock. But I'm not the only one here, and Henry was stepped away. So JPL, what are your thoughts on this? By the way,
I could hear you. I wanted to get out so I could write the votes. JPL, what are your thoughts?
You're good.
Yeah, nostalgia may play a factor into this one because even though School of Rock came out, how many years later, I saw this in reverse order. Stand By Me, something I saw a few years ago. School of Rock, I saw right away, and I've loved it and have repeated it many times since. Of course, we could all do the quotes, hangover. Oh, so you're drunk? Means I was drunk yesterday. Read between
Means
the
you're
lines.
Alcoholic, dude.
Let's rock
you have a
today.
disease.
I just think it's very charming. I still think it holds up here. Even you want to hang out with these people even through the end credits when they're just playing a song together. So I gotta go School of Rock.
You're being a real factoter right now, JBO.
All right, School of Rock is going to move on, but Tato, what are your thoughts on these two movies?
Big fan of both of these. I saw Stand By Me again recently. Still holds up. It's fantastic. But I would go School of Rock here as well. It's
Tato was the dead body in Stand By Me.
Facts. And the bummer about this is these two movies are in my top 10 of all time. So already getting off the rip of a tough matchup. But School of Rock is going to win. Our second matchup is going to be Fargo versus Clerks. And we're going to start with Brian.
So both of these for me fall into that category of good movies that people get a little too crazy about. Fargo, I especially, obviously there's certain performances. Obviously, Frances McDormand is good in it. William H. Macy is good in it. I like Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare. The story is a little slow for me and kind of So, I mean, but Clerks, while it is rough around the edges, obviously Kevin Smith's first film, it still, I think, holds up more as one of my favorites just in terms of just being fun to watch and quote and stuff. So, Clerks.
All right, so we have one for Clerks. I assume I know where it's going to go, but Jay, what are your thoughts on these two movies?
Wood Chipper versus Lung Dropped on a Counter. Sorry, Snowblower. Fuck, this is so difficult for me to not talk about Clerks the entire time on one screen. Clerks.
All right, there's that. JPO, Fargo versus Clerks.
This one is truly tough here, man, because this is one of those bracket ones where, like, I can't really say one for me is a lot better than the other. They're both tremendously good in what they're trying to accomplish. Well, I'm gonna have to here in a second, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those, you're taking two different kinds of movies here. I guess I'll just lean it towards the one that I'm more of a fandom of, the one I would watch quicker here. I do agree with Brian a little bit. It is definitely a little slower, so I'll go with Clerks as well.
All right, and I definitely know where Tato's going to go, but what are your thoughts on these two movies, Tato?
And Tato says Fargo.
You do know where I'm gonna go, but I will give a love fest to Fargo as well. These are two movies that are near and dear to my heart. Dox myself briefly by saying that I live pretty near Brainerd, Minnesota, so I do love some Fargo. But it's Clerks for me.
Yeah, and I actually would have gone Fargo here. It's one of those ones where this might be my favorite Steve Buscemi performance. I love Frances McDormand. She's just one of the greatest characters of all time. Her relationship with her husband Norm, it's just so sweet and endearing, and it just showcases that you don't need to be a complete badass Sarah Connor type character to be a strong female lead, and she showcased that. So I would have went Fargo, but obviously Clerks is on there for a reason, so I have no issues with that. So Clerks is going to move on. Our next matchup is going to be I Love You Man versus Zombieland.
Stop! I can see the bracket in the background. Stop!
No, hold on. No,
Stop! Stop!
It's not working.
What are you doing?
All right, I tried. We might get spoiled on some of them. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, I Love You Man versus Zombieland, starting with Jay. I'm trying to scroll. Just pay attention.
This honestly isn't that difficult for me. I do thoroughly enjoy most of Zombieland. I do like Bill Murray in this movie. I'm not a giant Jesse Eisenberg fan, whereas there's nothing about I Love You Man that I don't like. It's a great bromantic comedy between Paul Rudd and Jason Segel. I have to go I Love You Man on this one. Yeah, slap it up bass. Why are you playing the bass up there? Do you always play the bass that high? No, just when it's my imaginary bass. This movie is funny, it's quotable, and it's one of those ones where when I'm in a bad mood, this is one of those go-to movies for me. And that's why I gotta go with I Love You Man.
All right, so we have one for I Love You Man. JPO, what are your thoughts on these two movies?
It's another toughie. These two I have a lot of love for as well here. Yeah, I'm probably gonna sway a little bit more towards I Love You Man as well. This thing is just charming off the boot here. Things like this in Wanderlust, I think you got to give Paul Rudd credit for just making it that much more better and charming. And I love Jason Segel too. He had a few years there with this. We're gonna start Marshall, where I just love him to pieces here. I love the chemistry between him and Rudd. So yeah, it's something that I've gone back to, and I've like I said, it just charms the socks off me. I Love You Man.
It's not cable. It's HBO.
I'm glad. Yeah, Chuckala. I'm glad it's only the socks. Tato, what are your thoughts on these two?
Yeah, I think I pissed on that guy's face at a Bennigan's once. For me, I'm going to go I Love You Man here. I'll echo the sentiments of Jay and JPO and just slight edge over Zombieland on that one.
All right, and we're bouncing over me, and it's time to give everything I got. Everything I got. I Love You Man is going to be my one. This is ironically, I'm not even joking. Without knowing what this movie was about, I went on a bro date with one of my buddies from high school, and it's like, oh, hey, you want to go go see a movie, blah blah blah, and ended up being like,
suck your
literally
dick after.
Whatever, dude.
It's 2022.
It wasn't then, so shut up. Hindsight's 2020. Zombieland's a blast, though. It's spoiler alert, Shaun of the Dead's not on this list, and because I actually like Zombieland more. Like, this is a movie that I love Zombieland. I think it's a banger. It makes me laugh. It's just so much fun, and I don't need to be in a specific mood to watch it, whereas I kind of do with Shaun of the Dead. It's a blast. But I Love You Man it's been in my heart since 2009, so I'm gonna go with I Love You Man. Brian.
There's no women allowed in here. I got a jerk off station, for God's sake. I'm this one's decided, right? I Love You Man already won.
Yeah, this one's decided. It's I Love You Man.
I'm glad it already won before it got to me, because honestly, I love both these films, so I would have a hard time choosing. So just for kicks, let's throw one vote to Zombieland side.
There you go. Give some love for Zombieland.
No clean sweeps yet.
No clean sweeps.
Henry's like, I'm trying not to spoil the rest of the bracket right now in the background.
I'm gonna figure this out.
I'm trying. Honest, I'd probably lean towards I Love You Man, but yeah, we'll give a vote since it's decided anyway.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Props to my Jobin over here.
All right.
Oh, that's the place where you guys fucked for the first time, right? No, she was on her period.
Jesus Christ.
Please move on to the next matchup.
All right, our next matchup is going to be, and it's going to start with JPO, In the Heights versus Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
We good?
Yep.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just more of a Tarantino guy. It's more of my movie. I'm gonna go Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. All right. Have you seen In the Heights? I'm just curious. Your thoughts?
See, I was trying to not say that so you didn't get mad at me, but I haven't seen it.
I knew. So watch along. Coming to an Arizona near you.
Have you
did-
not seen this? Henry watched this for like 6 weeks straight when we were doing shit in the
I
background.
watched the first 10 minutes. It was kind of charming, and then I just got tired of singing.
You're lucky I'm on right now the build a bracket StreamYard, so I don't have a fuck you that I can just have handy.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Tato, what are your
Fuck your life.
have you seen both these? I know you like Tarantino, but it's newer. So have you seen both these, and what are your thoughts on them?
I have yet to catch In the Heights. I have heard a few of the numbers from it, which I really dig. And Once Upon a Time is pretty low on my Tarantino list, actually, even though I really dig the ending and all that. But I will give the nod to Once Upon a Time, just being that I enjoyed
for
it.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and this one's tough because it's ironic because like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is such a hangout movie that I can literally throw it on the background and just have it. You know, obviously it's almost 3 hours long, so it's not something I have to watch, but I can, you know, just kind of check in at any time, like when I'm editing or whatever, and just kind of get lost in some of the scenes. And In the Heights is obviously, as Jay alluded to, it's a movie that I've been able to watch so much, both also in the background because it's music, you know, you can hear it, but it also is an endearing story. And as a Latino, even though culturally speaking, I'm not the most Latino that there is, there's enough that, you know, I can relate to and understand and kind of brings back memories, whether it's not even just myself, but also like friends growing up. So I'm going to go In the Heights because it wouldn't be Sanchez of me if I didn't. Brian.
Yeah, you'd have to change your last name.
This is an easy one for me. I mean, I love In the Heights. I think it's a hugely underrated, underseen movie, especially in theaters. I'm surprised more people go see it. I think I enjoy this one actually more than Hamilton myself.
Okay.
And I rewatched this 1,000 times. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I liked it more and more as I rewatched it, but it's still for me kind of mid-range Tarantino, and it definitely has that classic Tarantino problem of like needing
Being a
an editor.
Tarantino movie.
It's too long. Each individual scene just go on too long, and it's just like okay. But yeah, easy for me In the Heights.
All right, so it's up to Jay. In the Heights and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What's moving on to the next round?
Having watched both of these movies absolutely one time in total, because I watched In the Heights by myself, not with it going on in your background, and having to slog through Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The movie that I enjoy more, the movie that I would go back and find myself rewatching, isn't the Tarantino movie. It's too much. In the Heights is the clear winner in this one to me. I would go In the Heights. This movie's a banger, bro. To steal your answer.
Facts.
I like how you said it slogs, and you're like, but now I'm gonna hold on anticipation as to which one I'm voting for.
I was a little nervous. I was like, wait, what? All right. Now I don't know exactly everyone's taste, but this one's a tough one for me. By the way, In the Heights moves on. Dazed and Confused versus Superbad. And we are starting with Tito.
This is not all right.
Yeah, this is not. God, both these movies are fucking spectacular. Very, very much in a similar vein. You know, you got the high school kids going through that one day that's a serious kind of day type situation.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey is definitely not 31 years old in that poster.
Yeah, look at him. He's so sweet and innocent. I'm gonna lean on Dazed and Confused on this one. But goddamn, this one's tight. Love both these movies.
So this one's tough because, like, I feel like I could just throw Days of Confused on at any time and just have it in the background. Whereas in Superbad, I feel like I kind of have to invest myself because even though it is a day and the night movie, there's just so much going on and it's just so much to love. But I have loved Superbad longer, and I feel like that's going to be my tiebreaker. So I'm going to go with Superbad. It's been, one of my favorites, for over 10 years now. So I'm going to go Superbad, but it's tight, like 2 top 30 movies for me probably. Brian.
Yeah, this is probably the closest one for me so far tonight. Yeah, I mean, they're so similar in tone and stuff. It's just a matter of different eras. I think I'm
One
going to
has
go super bad.
pedophilia, one
Super
doesn't.
bad by a nose. I do enjoy Dazed and Confused, but I'll give the nod to super bad.
All right. You know, Jimmy, you look like his brother. Jay, who are you going with?
I actually do enjoy both of these movies.
I feel like we're gonna say that a lot, and that's why
I really do, but I don't want it to get overplayed. But I gotta go super bad, and now I understand why Orson Welles ate his fat ass to death.
JPO.
Hot take. I really do enjoy both of these movies, but
Shocker.
yeah, dude, it's true. It's true. But no, but again, I don't know. I guess maybe I just sway more towards the thing that's a little more contemporary for me, up my alley, that I can kind of align myself with more, and that's Superbad. I think there's more laughs for me as well. So Superbad.
All right, Superbad 4-1 is going to move on. Ironically, the stoner picked Dazed and Confused. So Superbad is going to move on. And our next matchup, I'm not gonna lie, this one's going to be the most different that we've had so far. We have Rain Man versus Friday, and we're starting with me. I want to show some love to Rain Man. This is a movie that it's a road trip movie. Tom Cruise is arguably my third favorite actor now at this point, behind Leo and Brad Pitt. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing him in. Even if I don't love the movies, I always love him and what he brings, his nuances. I love his arc in this film of being just a selfish, self-absorbed, cock and balls to like a loving brother, and like kind of, and also it's similar to like what he ends up having in Magnolia with his relationship with his father. It's just like, that chip on his shoulder that he has. But obviously Dustin Hoffman's performance, luckily he didn't go full, so he did a great job. He was fantastic in this movie. 20 minutes to Wapner, Kmart sucks. Like, this is a movie that is just so fun.
You cut out full what? You cut out full what?
Full Friday, because that's what I'm gonna go.
Oh my
with.
god!
I'm gonna go full Friday because this is just one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, if anyone who knows me, like if you know me and you talk about movies, like Big Lebowski and Friday are probably two of the movies I talk about the most. So that's why I wanted to show love to Rain Man, because I don't know, honestly don't know where this is gonna go, but I feel like at this point Rain Man's mad underrated and people just think of it as like a gimmick, but a meme movie, but it is like a very fantastic movie. So I'm gonna go Friday, but shout out to Rain Man. Brian.
You say it's random, but you keep putting all the very similar movies together. I don't know why you did this.
I told you told me when to stop.
Because I mean, they both have somebody who's kind of playing the straight man, and then they're mentally challenged friends. So there you go.
So he's not mentally challenged. That's a lie. He definitely
know
is.
this,
Sorry.
man.
I don't know, because I mean, obviously one's more of a drama prestige kind of movie that I think is fine but a little overrated, and Friday is this comedy which I think is fine but overrated. So I'm kind of stuck on both of these. So I guess I'd go rewatchability, which I'd probably watch Friday before I'd watch Rain Man. So I'll go Friday.
Yeah, just a little heads up. Rain Man was a last minute switch from the other bracket, just because just numbers wise. So it feel like it kind of got screwed on this one. Jay, what are your thoughts on these two?
I actually really like Dustin Hoffman's performance in Rain Man. You're my brother, but I'm not necessarily like feel like your brother. I feel more like your protector or your guardian is one of those things where, as an individual who has nobody in my family, who I'm the eldest sibling in my family, I understand that to a degree. But the conversations that happen in Friday, the bullshit that happens in Friday, growing up in the area and the situations that I've grown up in just resonate with me way more. Also, I just want to point out that Craig, kind of a doucher in Friday. That man went and picked up his last paycheck, and then his homie was about to get smoked over $200 and just didn't fucking want to help his homie out with $200. I still got to go with Friday. It's not the rewatchability of it. It's more how I connect with the movie, and I connect more with Friday than I do with Rain Man.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. Friday's going to move on, but JPO, what are your thoughts on the two?
Nah, I'll do that pick of I'll go with Rain Man. I really like the main two performances here, so I'll show some love to Rain Man.
There you go. Tato, have you seen Rain Man? I know you've seen Friday, but have you seen Rain Man?
Look at him. He is Rain Man.
Definitely might be Rain Man, guys. Definitely might be Rain Man. No, I am gonna go Friday here. I have seen both flicks. They're both really fucking good. But I will just go Friday. It means a little more to me.
Tato does not use toothpicks. All right, so Friday is going to move on, and our next matchup is going to.
Can he count them?
All right, so I guess it's staying on this side of the bracket with this one, so that's fine. So it's staying on the one side of the bracket. So our next matchup of round 2. School of Rock and Clerks. We're gonna go to Brian.
Yeah, again, I'm gonna go with Clerks. Just because School of Rock, like I said, I watched it one time and don't really remember it or have an urge to go back and watch it. So I'll go with Clerks.
I'm definitely down for watch along for that one. Jay.
This is a really weird double feature if you think about it, because it's definitely about slackers doing a job that they probably shouldn't be doing, especially with Dewey. But Schneeblé. Yeah, that's a demerit, Henry. No, I gotta go Clerks here, and this is honestly closer than I thought it would be. But I'm definitely going Clerks. Definitely going Clerks.
All right, and JPO.
It's a tough one, man. I'm gonna keep it. Try to give some hope of life for School of Rock. I think I go back to it more. School of Rock.
All right, we already know where Tato's gonna go, but break my heart. What's your pick?
Yeah, it is gonna be Clerks here, but I really do fucking love School of Rock.
School of Rock, definitely an early out, and it's sad.
Yeah, it hurts me to do it this
It's
early.
a matchup when you have two diehard VSQ fans on there. It's just a bummer, but that's how
there are 3 of us right here.
I love it's you too, but I can admit that.
Yeah, I would say he's not diehard enough to not at least vote against it potentially. But obviously School of Rock's in my top 10. It was my childhood favorite movie. It holds up to this day.
I'm a diehard fan.
You got a disease, dude.
So yes, Clerk is unfortunately going to move on. Our next matchup.
Give it its S. You said Clerk moves on.
That's true.
Only one of
It
these.
was a fantastic documentary.
It's the prequel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's the prequel. It's all about Coey London.
It is a doc though. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
All right, I was just scrolling out because I wanted to see kind of how it was going to look. So give me a minute.
How are we on round 2? Did we only do like 12 movies?
Well, I know
We're doing all of round 1's side of the docket. Looks
because
like
of the matchup thing, so it's just visually more appealing, and then that's just how it went. So now let's roll. So
Bro, it's supposed to be 22 degrees tonight.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
I know. I might not have to use the air conditioning in my room.
Free balling.
all right, there we go.
Hopefully there isn't a Rogue One in there. Hopefully both of them don't disappear, so my dick won't be the Last Jedi.
Sorry, I was trying to just look at it real quick. All right, our next matchup is going to be I Love You Man versus In the Heights, and we're starting with Jay.
I'm gonna lose this one.
I gotta slap an abyss on this one, my guy. I do. This is gonna be I Love You Man. I actually do enjoy both of these movies, but I don't have any want to rewatch In the Heights after I have. Oh, listen to the songs. That's completely different. Listening to the songs, completely different. But I will quote I Love You Man almost on a weekly basis. When was the last time you've ever heard me utter a In the Heights quote from a song? I'll quote Hamilton before I quote that, but yeah, no, it's got to be I Love You Man.
All right, JPO.
Let's go to a Rush concert, man. I love you, man.
I figured. Tato.
Yep, I will continue slapping the bass with those guys. Love you, man.
Yeah, even though I've loved I Love You Man longer and it's been in my life longer, In the Heights is just skyrocketed. Like this was one that this ended up at the bottom half of my top 100 at the end of last year, and it was a new release. Whereas I Love You Man wasn't, and obviously it's gonna fight with it, in this Redux. But In the Heights has been a top tier movie for me longer, so In the Heights would be my pick. And Brian, I think you would agree.
Yeah, I knew with this panel, In the Heights was not going to go very far. It's just a matter of you get the different people on it, you kind of know what their tastes are. For me, In the Heights would be the easy pick, just because like you said, it's a newer film, but when I just redid my top 100 recently, it was the highest debut on my top 100. So my vote went on that way. Although I love you, man, so I'm not sad to see that one go on.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian called us basic, guys.
No, I just said you have that's not your taste.
We know what these dumb folks are going to say.
I think they're both
so-
good movies. They're just different.
All right, and speaking of good movies, and obviously it's the matchup thing, so we're doing round 2 on the left side. But with that said, Superbad versus Friday, JPO.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Superbad. I think it's
I would
funnier.
watch this crossover movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would watch this thing out. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good one,
The
too.
3 main characters in Superbad are dead within the first 5 minutes.
Oh, well,
You
maybe.
White, you Ben Affleck.
In
Well,
fact,
maybe they go to their high school, so don't put them in their area. But yeah,
Tato.
Bitches
You mean their area?
Between the two, Tato, what are you going to be picking?
I
they don't
have
just
no
throw me
idea.
out.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I'm gonna go Superbad here as well. Just shade funnier for me. Yep, Superbad.
Yeah, this is similar. Not really, because I've loved both these movies for a long time. I'm gonna go Friday because it's one of those ones where even though Superbad is like the Dark Knight to me, where it's like it's been like so beloved and so S tier for so long that I felt like I've overrated it. Not in me personally, but like it's become overrated. So I like put it off to the side. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. But Friday has never left that because, especially in this community full of a bunch of white people, like I don't get a chance to talk about Friday as much. So whenever I talk about it, I feel like it's just refreshing nonstop, and I'm always promoting it. Whereas Superbad, as much as I love it, I'm like I don't need to talk about it. So Friday has just been at like the front of my brain for like 3-4 years straight. So I'm gonna go with Friday. Brian.
If you got Bill Hader and Seth Rogen as the 2 white cops from Superbad in this crossover, I'm thinking it's not the Superbad guys will be dead. That's a whole different story.
Jeez.
Yeah, Superbad.
Damn!
Superbad. I love. Friday is kind of so Superbad's my vote.
All right, Superbad's gonna move on. Jay, what are your thoughts on the two?
Can I borrow your VCR, Henry? It's the Mac. I just want to record the Mac. It would have been Friday. Friday would have moved on for me. I love both of those movies. Don't get me wrong. But not only has Friday been in my life longer, it's made more sense, and I've grown up in a community that embraces that more than Superbad. So it would have been Friday.
All right. Oh shit.
You fucked up. Way to fuck up, Usnavi.
Yeah, I fucked up something. That's what I get for trying, because it did another matchup that was just gonna keep going. It's just random. We're whatever. Just go with the punches. So next matchup, we're starting with Tato. We're starting with Tato. Superbad versus I Love You Man.
Who?
Come on, Jobin.
Yeah. This one's actually a little different because I think Superbad's funnier, but the movie I like more is I Love You Man. So I will go I Love You Man. I think it is the better film. If by one of my hairs.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so he's gonna go I Love You Man. I am going to go Superbad. It's a movie that's just I can literally put similar to what I said. Ironically, what I said about Superbad of it being so eventful and I need to be in the mood for it. I Love You Man is also similar to that because I'm not saying it's slow, but because that is more of a narrative structure that like I need to be in the mood to like pay attention and like be emotionally invested. Whereas I don't need to pay attention to Superbad to still be emotionally invested because of my memories for it, and I can just check in at any time and have a blast. So, and it's the one that I quote just a hair more. So I'm gonna go Superbad. Ryan.
Just based on the last time I watched both of these, which one made me laugh more? I'll vote for Superbad. But I Love You Man's so good. But yeah, Superbad's my vote.
All right, and Jay.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jobin. No, honestly, this to me would be this is honestly not that difficult of a fight. I do enjoy Superbad, but I love You Man. So fuck you, Lou Ferrigno. Put him down, Hulk. I gotta go I Love You Man on this, bro. I gotta go I Love You Man on this.
All right, he's gonna go. I love you, man. And the tiebreaker, JPO. I love you, man. Versus Superbad.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Nice. I'm gonna go with the one that has a cameo by David Krumholtz. He's in both.
Yeah,
How about the one with Joe Lo Truglio?
You son of a bitch.
Shit, he's in both. That's all I can find. I was gonna keep doing that, but I don't think there's anymore. Maybe there is. But no, it's close. I love Superbad Death, but at the same time, maybe I just like a really funny movie that has like just really two really nice guys in it. Like I want to hang out with Siegel and Rudd. I'm going there. I'm going to Love You Man.
Let's go.
All right. I love you, man. Is
Go.
going to move on. So with that said, we're going to the next matchup.
Way to go, Jobin.
My heart was singing.
Ladies on the Menji.
Carly Gallo is both of them as well.
Who?
Carly Gallo. She's the period chick.
Oh, yeah, no, I remember that. I remember in I Love You. There's a lot of people that pop in I Love You, man. Favreau.
All right, so I adjusted the screen to just go to a different matchup, so it's not the same shit. But when I did it accidentally, I accidentally clicked it. So just use your imaginations. It is the Nice Guys versus Mallrats. And we are starting with
I think Nice Guys versus Nice Guys. I'd give it to Nice Guys.
yeah.
You have
Actually,
to be
we're
Nice Guys.
on you, Henry.
Okay. I'm gonna do the logic of, since Clerks has already moved on really far, and I know that the love for Clerks amongst the two is higher for me personally, as well as I think everyone else. The Nice Guys is one of those movies that it just it's hilarious, dude. I had to interview the mermaids. It's just so much fun. He's like, don't say and stuff. They just say they were just doing anal. It's just a movie that just makes me laugh, and it's one of those ones that I don't revisit as often, but every time I do, I'm just so happy, and I'm like, God damn, dude, this movie.
Shit, is that where that meme comes from?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go the Nice Guys versus the Nice Guys. The Nice Guys. Brian, Nice Guys versus Mallrats. What are you picking?
For me, it's gonna be Nice Guys. I mean, I like Shane Black movies, especially when he gets to direct his own original material. Plus, I mean, Russell Crowe very seldom gets to do these movies where he gets have fun and do a comedy. And Ryan Gosling, he should definitely do more comedies because that man is a comedic genius. I mean, the scene when he's finds the dead body, using no words, is just basically doing an Abbott Costello impression. He's hilarious. In the stall,
bathroom? Yeah,
in the bathroom stall, he does more there than to make me laugh than in other entire comedies. So yeah, I have to go Nice Guys.
I got a permit, motherfucker. Jay, what do you got? Let's 2 for Nice Guys.
God damn it. No, bro, I gotta go with probably the most romantic move I've ever heard of in a movie, and that is proposing to a woman when Jaws pops out of the water on the Universal ride. Honestly, there's so much that's going on in Mallrats, and I know that a lot of people think that it's disconjointed, but when you take a step back and you look at the movie as a whole, I like it. It feels like Preparation H. On the whole, it's cool, it's calm, it's collected. Yeah, Brian, I'm glad I got you to start on that one. No, I gotta go Mallrats on this one. It's one of those movies that I enjoy. Whereas the Nice Guys, every time it pops on, I'm like, I could watch something different. When Mallrats pops on, as long as it's not the director's cut or the extended edition, I don't. So I gotta go Mallrats.
All right.
Can we take a break now and watch the Nice Guys instead?
Yeah. So that's two for Nice Guys.
I mean, I'd be down. Don't get me wrong.
JPO, where are you at?
Don't worry, guys. I'm choosing the right one. No, I mentioned before I'm not against voting for Kevin Smith as much as I love him. Got to do it again here, man. I like Mallrats. It's not top tier Kev for me here. It's not. I don't find it to be the funniest. I don't love the main 2 characters. It's good. It's rewatchable. But Nice Guys, I think, slaps, as the cool kids say. Brian already alluded to great performances by Crowe and Gosling. The bathroom scene, again, I don't know. I doubt that's on paper. If it was, good for them. But it just, they make so much here. I think it's the best Shane Black movie here. They find a good level to balance everything between action, making it R-rated, but still likable. Yeah, Nice Guys.
All
Who
right,
wants to
Nice
Callow,
Guys,
Jordan.
anymore?
You're callow, Jordan.
Nice Guys is going to move on against Nice Guys, but Tato, what are your thoughts on the two, and which one would you have picked?
I have not seen Nice Guys. I would have of course picked
Watch
Mallrats.
along. Watch
Watch
along.
along.
Fuck yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
All
But
right,
yeah,
so
I would have
yes.
got Mallrats.
All right. All right, we're going back to another round one matchup because I'm just adjusting.
At least when I voted, I'd seen both movies. I'm just saying.
back. And we're going to start with Brian on this one. We have My Cousin Vinny versus The Social Network.
Oh, it's easy. This is easy.
Oh, see, very different movies this time.
Yeah, Social Network originally was in the quote-unquote dramas, but it was
So
more
My
rewatch-
Cousin Vinny should have been just this throwaway, forgettable mid-range comedy.
Should have been.
1992. But I mean, first of all, this movie is one of a few that made me just fall in love with Marissa Tomei, and I had the crush on her for decades. Still going on.
I still have a crush on
I
her.
was gonna say, yeah, decades and counting. So there's that. Joe Pesci is at his Joe Pesciest. This role fits him perfectly, even though you can see like he has his face pulled back throughout the entire movie, hidden under his wig. It's so quotable, but Social Network is just a great movie through and through. I mean, from the Aaron Sorkin script to David Fincher directing to the cast across the board, yes, including even Armie Hammer.
Human
I
cannibal Armie Hammer.
I just think it is such a phenomenal movie that about such a boring subject, honestly, but they made it riveting. So yeah, Social Network.
All right, so we got a vote for The Social Network. Jay.
Oh man, I hope I'm able to throw a little bit of mud in the tires, which if anybody who has ever been stuck in the mud in Georgia knows, it throws shit off balance. My Cousin Vinny.
How do you get mud in your tire?
How do you get mud in
Alabama.
your ties? It is
Alabama.
Alabama. You're right. It is Alabama. It doesn't matter because it's My Cousin Vinny. My Cousin Vinny is the perfect choice here. Whereas, again, I don't like the face on this dude down here, bro. Jesse Eisenberg, he got a weird face. He talks a whole lot and he talks fast. He does the Ben Shapiro thing. That doesn't make it a good movie. He does a lot of dialogue really fucking quickly. That doesn't make him smart. It makes him fucking weird. I can't wait till he actually gets the fucking Mark Zuckerberg haircut. But it doesn't matter because my choice is for My Cousin Vinny.
All right, so we have a 1-1 tie going into JP.
I heard nothing about the movies just now. Like I just heard some weird Eisenberg rants.
He said,
Yeah,
talk about
no.
whatever, so I did. Fuck you.
I don't know if I can give you the vote and debate for that one. You didn't really say anything. JP, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like My Cousin Vinny a lot. As you said, it's the coming of Marissa Tomei, who doesn't love Marissa Tomei here. But I think Social Network is all around a tremendous film here. I love Fincher. I think he's kind of hasn't had a miss in almost ever. Great performances all around. JT, the cannibal, everyone's doing really good work here. So Social Network.
All right, Social Network takes the lead going into Tato.
You're muted, buddy.
Good save, thanks.
You would think
got
Zuckerberg
you.
would know how to use Facebook. Oh, wait, this StreamYard. You're good.
Yeah, there we go.
Way to be a dick, dumbass.
Both fantastic films. Both outkicked their coverage in their own right.
That's fair.
Like My Cousin Vinny being it's funny as fuck, but also being very, very good just in general outside of the humor. And then the movie about Facebook. Okay, I guess I'll watch that, but no, it's fantastic. But I'm going to go My Cousin Vinny here. It's been with me since childhood, making me laugh, making me cry. No, I don't think it's ever made me cry. Oh, no, I may have shed a couple if I've gotten really emotional, but My Cousin Vinny here.
All right, so the only thing that makes this difficult for me is just the fact that Social Network is a fantastically made movie. Obviously, the acting is great in both of them, but the structure and just the behind the scenes stuff is just fantastic with the score, the editing. My Cousin Vinny has that weird 90s soundtrack and score that just doesn't really fit the tone, and it makes it feel goofy, which is the only reason that keeps it probably away from my top 20 of all time, because it just takes me out of it. But because there's a world where My Cousin Vinny could technically be in my top 20, whereas in Social Network isn't quite, it's a last minute replacement, I'm going My Cousin Vinny. And that's
Win some, lose some.
yeah. So My Cousin Vinny is going to move on.
Let's go. Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah, the internet is not going to like us there.
I don't give a fuck what Caleb Boatman has to think about that.
Quote unquote, the 2010's greatest movie of all time. All right, now we're going to go to the other side of the bracket because I.
Oh, thank Christ, we're on the other side now.
Well, that was yeah. All right. Oh yeah, we got some weird ones. Oh god, this is the first time me seeing these matchups. All right, our first
I'm
matchup
so
on
here for
this side of the bracket is going to be. This one's weird. Forrest Gump versus Glengarry Glen Ross, and we're starting with Jay.
Oh, my mama always told me that coffee is for closers. Fuck. This is actually a really difficult choice for me. I'm gonna give the edge slightly to Forrest Gump. I love the movie. I think that this is by far one of my favorite fucking Tim Hanks performances. Just the different shit that he has to go through and the different situations that he's put in is more entertaining to me than watching a bunch of fucking salesmen try to sell shit. Plus, how many times how many movies do you see where a dude drinks like 23 Dr. Peppers and has to take a piss before meeting the president?
Yeah, it was 15. That's fair. So that is going to be one vote for
Except
Forrest
for the
Gump.
23 flavors that are in Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I had me about 15 Dr. Peppers. JPO, Forrest Gump, Glengarry Glen Ross.
Both good picks here, man. Forrest Gump. I feel like I've almost like flip flopped a little bit as time has gone on as to what I prefer. Because I think at one point I would have said Gump, but I'm gonna go now with Glengarry Glen Ross. I just love that script. I love everybody in this here. Jack Lemmon, absolutely killing it here. Even the beginning monologue added to the movie by Baldwin, which is just for the movie. Yeah, David Mamet, man, when he's on, it works, and I love this movie. It's in my list as well. So. Glengarry Glen Ross.
All right, so it's a 1-1. Tato, where are you at?
This one is another super duper tight one. I am going to go. I'm going to go Forrest Gump. I don't know if I feel great about it. But yeah, just gonna give the edge to Forrest Gump here.
A vote for Forrest Gump is a vote for the greatest movie villain of all time,
Jen Egg.
Oh, please don't start.
He might be a goddamn.
Oh, I'm not, Brian. I'm not. I love the meme in the fucking community.
All right, so with that said, Forrest Gump was my favorite movie of all time in 2016, right before The Big Lebowski. Like it went Forrest Gump,
but it had women who talked in it.
Hush. It went from Forrest Gump to Good Will Hunting and The Departed, and then The Big Lebowski has just been number one for years. So it's similar like what I said with Superbad, where it was so good for so long that I kind of overrated it in terms of took it for granted. So as I've revisited, I'm like, God damn, dude, it still gets me every time. Is he smart or is he like me? Oh God, dude, that's brutal.
Fuck
dude.
you. That's a
brutal
quote, bro.
That's brutal, dude. But Glengarry Glen Ross has never been lower than my top 30 at any point. I've never hesitated. This is just a movie that it's the greatest short film of all time. The first, 10 minutes with Alec Baldwin, it's madly quotable. It's as someone who, I've never been like a real estate salesman, but someone who's like had that drive and that ambition and that grind to like be a, entrepreneur and just one of those types of guys. There are a lot of the emotions and Ed Harris's character and Jack Lemmon, and then just also having Al Pacino in there. People forget Al Pacino's in this movie. It's just this movie's fantastic. It's short. It's something I could just have. So shut the fuck up. So I'm gonna go with Glengarry Glen Ross. I have a feeling I know where Brian's gonna go, but I'm curious on your thoughts. Between the two, Brian.
Yeah, well, Glengarry Glen Ross has fantastic performances and monologues and stuff. But as a complete movie, I think Forrest Gump just blows it away. I think that in recent years, I know there's been some backlash in Forrest Gump. I think a lot of that comes from people that think like Pulp Fiction should have won and things like that. So they just hold it against Forrest Gump. Yeah. But Forrest Gump, if you rewatch it, is really just a great film. So yeah.
Yeah, even Ray Romano in The Big Sick, it's the greatest movie ever. So yeah, Forrest Gump is going to move on.
What are you talking about, dude? We lost 19 of our best guys.
You're not wrong. Not wrong. All right, our next matchup is going to be another weird one. And we're starting with
Tato or JPO.
JPO when it goes
JPO. We're starting with JPO. It is going to be 500 Days of Summer versus Coco.
That's a thinker for me here. Because, man, do I sometimes feel like I am Joseph Gordon-Levitt. In every way.
You literally have the same hair right now.
I think that decides it. Coco is wonderful. I'll go 500 days, but I won't be upset if the other one wins.
All right, so that's one for Summer. Tato.
I'm gonna go Coco here. I love Coco to death. 500 days.
I see what you did there.
500 days good, but I'm gonna go Coco.
It's lighthearted in terms of like, if you don't personally relate to it, then it's just a fun little rom-com with a lot of jokes and it's hilarious. So technically, yes. You said you went Coco, Tato?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna jump to me. Coco's in my top 10 of all time. 500 Days of Summer, similar to one of those, like what I just talked about in the last matchup, like Forrest Gump, where it's like it used to be my second favorite movie of all time, and it's just gone down. Not because of anything against the movie, it's just, you know, I've fallen out of like all that stuff. But Coco just hits, dude. Like, you know, Maya Wella, growing up, she was literally Mama Coco in this movie. Like, you know, sitting in her chair, wrinkly as shit. Like, they literally looked alike. Like, if I had a picture right now, like twins, dude. And it's one of those things. Like, when I watch, it just gets me. And it's one of the best stories of all time. When first time I saw it in the packed theater, and I kind of theater hopped. So I ended up sitting on the floor because there was no seats. And like the last 10 minutes, I had to go see another movie, and I was like, I'm running late, so I'm like, I'm not really invested because I just wasn't all mentally there, and I ended up leaving. So not only did I miss the Remember Me scene with Mama Coco, but I also just wasn't invested in the entire movie because of just the scenario. So it's one of those situations of proof that it's, you know, your environment, your comfortability definitely affects how you feel about a movie. Because now this is just my favorite animated movie of all time, like hands down, and it's in my top 10. So I'm going Coco, but 500 Days of Summer, like if I watch it right now, it'll get me, especially because I'm lonely as shit right now. So that would be that. So Brian, what are your thoughts?
I think I've cooled on 500 Days of Summer a little bit. I mean, my rating hasn't really changed that much, but I'm not like as crazy about it as I was when I first saw it. Coco, I've only seen the movie once, and I'm due for rewatch. I actually put it on my watch list, and I feel like if I rewatch them again, my vote would probably go. At least Coco has a chance of taking it, but as of right now, I'd have to go 500 Days of Summer.
All right, so we are tied. So Jay, you are going to decide what's moving on to the next round: 500 Days of Summer or Coco.
So what you're telling me is I'm the un poco loco.
Maybe.
I don't hate 500 Days of Summer. I don't. But I absolutely adore Coco. I don't think that like Disney Pixar has really missed in anything that they've done. And this, to me, started the trend of let's make a fire fucking movie. Let's add the cultural fucking respect that we need to. And they just started showing the fuck off. Coco makes me cry every time I watch it. 500 Days of Summer, if it's on, I might watch it. If Coco's on, it doesn't matter where it's at. I will watch that movie.
And for the record, Autumn is a huge upgrade for Summer, just saying.
Oh, that's fighting.
Make a Kelly any day.
All right. So now Coco's going to move on. Shout out to the white people. Now we are going to go over to another weird one.
Ooh, I
And
don't like that.
We're starting with Tato.
How as wide as they get?
Blind Spotting versus 21 Jump Street.
Oh, this is easy.
Tato.
Oh, no, Tato, no.
Mamma mia. I'll go 21 Jump Street here.
That's 22 Jump Street.
I don't care.
All right, so 21 Jump Street for that. 21 Jump Street it's one of those ones where, like, as much as I love comedies, when I'm thinking of like my personal opinions on film, similar like action movies and even superhero movies, which, you know, that's going to be in the different bracket of the quote unquote popular ones, and the blockbusters. But I love all those movies, but I feel like I need substance in terms of like what brings me to want to rewatch a movie other than just comedy. Because comedy, I can just watch clips. Substance is what invests me into the entire movie. And this movie's only 90 minutes. Blind Spotting is easily for me, like, it's jumped in my top 20. It's one of the most underrated movies of all time at this point. It's the perfect example of telling a message that, like, is, you know, quote unquote political, but not like being in your face and like overdoing the message. Like if you're it shows you that you can tell a story and have a through line with a political backstory and background and all that stuff, but without like really hammering home whatever your story is. Like obviously you're going to skew one side because that's the point of your story, but it's not overdoing it. Like it shows both sides. So Blind Spotting, plus it's funny, it's hilarious. The relationship between Rafael Casal and Jesus Christ, I'm blanking on his name right now. That's what I
David
love.
Diggs.
Diggs. It's one of those ones where it's like all that stuff.
I beat Brian. Let's go. I retire now.
Sorry, I haven't watched Hamilton in a while. So yes, Blind Spotting is going to be for me, but I quote and love 21 Jump Street, but Blind Spotting is just so close to my heart. So Blind Spotting. Brian.
As much as I love Ethan Embry's character, no, I'm kidding.
It does look just like you.
Yeah. I was going to say
Brian, your last name, Embry.
I can't hardly wait. That's what I was going to say. No. 21 Jump Street is another movie that should have sucked. I mean, Channing Tatum, when he first started out, I was like, this dude's a fucking shitty actor and a joke. And this is based on a TV show spoofing, like, whatever. But Channing Tatum, I think this is where he finally showed that he's got super comedic chops, and I've loved him ever since then. It's super quotable. It's super funny. Blind Spotting, I think, is good. I think that when it gets to, especially like the climactic, face off between him and the cop, he starts randomly spouting, freestyle. It seems a little forced to me. I'm not big on that scene. So I'm voting 21 Jump Street. Like in that situation, he wouldn't start to spout freestyle. He would just be yelling at him. It's just saying.
We'll talk about that. Jay.
Don't get me wrong. I love 21 Jump Street. I think that movie is funny as fuck. But Blind Spotting is one of the only movies that I have ranked at a 5-star movie on my Letterboxd. I know that's not saying a lot because I only have like 75 movies on my Letterboxd, but Blind Spotting is one of those 5-star movies that I have on my Letterboxd. This movie caused me so much anxiety while I was watching it that I have to give it to it for that. The realism, the fact that like Brian might hate that whole like spouting of a fucking freestyle, but if you've ever been in a tense situation and something that you do gives you peace and gives you harmony, you do really weird shit in situations like that. I have to give this to Blind Spotting. I absolutely fucking love that movie, and I think it's one of the best movies of the last like 4 years.
And just to follow on that, without going on a tangent, he literally says it within his rap. He's like, "This is the only way that you'll listen, is if I do it in a musical number, essentially." So that's also a like you said, yes, in because it's a film, but also in that scene, based on the character of their random like rapping throughout, is just kind of his thing. But also to the audience, is like, hey, if you need to hear a message, music will do it. So yes,
also,
yes, there's
Rafael Casal, kind of a shitty friend. Miles, kind of a fucking shitty friend.
Yeah.
Colin.
Say it.
Just trying to live his life, get off fucking probation. But that's what happens when you're boys with somebody. Like, yeah.
I grew up. My best friend growing up was Miles in this movie, so it just has that attachment too. JPO, Blind Spotting is moving on, but what is your thought on 21 Jump Street and also Blind Spotting?
Oh, so Blind Spotting is moving on?
It's 2-2 now.
I was just kidding. I kind of wrote the wrong number. I was invested 2-2. It's between you. Edit. All right, so between Blind Spotting and 21 Jump Street, you are deciding what's moving on. What is your pick?
No, I was hoping it was decided by the time it got to me because I'm so torn, man.
Punish him for jumping the gun. Do it.
Don't. Malcolm breaks the tie. Blind Spotting moves on. Let's go.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm
okay.
sorry. I don't.
No, you're not. We
You're
know you
sorry,
did that for no
Brian.
reason.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, this is where you guys are going to learn something about me.
So My Little Pony.
It's not that bad.
He's a brony.
All right, so
I can see it.
my second favorite Edgar Wright movie versus
Oh, The World's End.
one of my favorite rom-coms, one of my favorite holiday movies, a movie that doesn't fail to make me cry, that I love endlessly. Scott Pilgrim versus the World versus Last Christmas.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm the only fan of this movie, but I love it. I've watched it numerous times. It's not just in the moment. Like, it's just, I love this movie. You know, obviously, I'm not going to go into spoilers because it's just an interesting, you know, unfolding of it, and I feel like it's mad underrated. But it's a movie that just really connects with me, and I love it. Being lost in your, you know, in your not really knowing who you are, whether it's in your family, your career, finding someone that you know you can like kind of be yourself with, whether it's legit or not. It's one of those things that just
Which movie are you talking about?
Exactly. This is a tough matchup, ironically. I'm going to go Last Christmas because I feel like a lot of people are going to vote for Scott Pilgrim, but this is close, and I honestly don't know where I would go, like in my rankings, like when I actually do my top 100 and top 128, like ranked, which one will be higher. But my instinct is going to go Last Christmas here because it's coming up on Christmas season, and I have no hesitation on watching it at least once, if not two, maybe even three times. It's one of those things. I love this movie. But Scott Pilgrim's awesome. The editing, the music, just the performances, Michael Cera's goofiness. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, you know, all the fight sequences. It's a banger. But I'm going Last Christmas because I love it, and it's a Henry movie. Brian.
I got nothing against, you know, light Christmas rom-com kind of things. I like everybody in the movie, you know, Henry Golding and Emilia Clarke, and I believe Michelle Yeoh is she's the boss,
Yeah,
right?
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah. So I like the cast across the board. I think though I would have liked it more if it had just been a straightforward kind of rom-com kind of movie. I think that the twist, which I won't give away here, I think that kind of took away from the movie. I'm like, that
It's
didn't
not
need to
her
go
last
there.
Christmas.
Welcome
With it.
to the block list.
Scott Pilgrim, though, I mean, Scott Pilgrim is a highly ranked movie for me. It's gone up and up and up my rankings. I just love the style that Edgar Wright puts into it, and the cast from top to bottom is just stacked. So I got to go with Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim.
1-1, Jay.
I know I'm acting like this is really hard. It's
That's what she said.
not. Yeah, yo, that's exactly what Emilia Clarke said. She's acting like it's hard because, holy fuck. No, this is bottom tier. This is bottom tier Edgar Wright for me, especially with how problematic Scott Pilgrim is in this movie. He's the worst character in this film, by the way.
Scott Pilgrim is trash.
Scott Pilgrim is trash. That is an absolute true statement, but I still have to go with Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I'm not a big fan of Last Christmas, but this is still like there are like 4 or 5 episodes of Spaced, the TV show that Edgar Wright directed, that are better than Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and then his entire Cornetto trilogy is above this. But that speaks more to Edgar Wright's inability to direct a fucking movie where there isn't a problematic character than anything else. So yeah, no, Scott Pilgrim still moves on, but Last Christmas is just fucking boring.
JPO.
Hell yeah, space shout out. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. Spoilers. I am charmed by Last Christmas here. It's not on my 128. I think it's good. I think it made my 128 of that year though. Scott Pilgrim.
Do a lot of people do 128s? I wasn't aware of this thing.
Well, no, I definitely sway more towards
Brian, do a 128.
Next time, maybe.
When you can definitely break down Scott Pilgrim and go, oh yeah, he is kind of trash, but it's still very watchable, funny trash. So I don't know how to follow that up. Scott Pilgrim gets the vote.
All right, Puckman, what do you got, Tato?
Hey, we've been on this for a whole hour, and it's the first bracket where I haven't seen either film. So
Either?
yay!
You haven't seen either of these movies?
I've
So
not.
nice guys and Scott Pilgrim so
Nice
far.
guys.
Okay.
Tato, I feel
Well,
like
he's
you
watching
failed and we have failed you.
We have failed you. We have. We didn't know.
No, that's on me. I should have seen Scott Pilgrim for sure. I'm almost certain I'm gonna love it when I actually get to it. But yep. So I'll vote Scott Pilgrim because I know I'll love it in my heart.
All right. We have a few more matchups, and then we're gonna plow through. Now we got the rhythm of what we're doing.
Bye, Tato.
You just leave.
No, I'm
he
still here. I'm
just
just
cammed
hanging
off.
out
He
for a
just wanted to pick his nose without being on
All right, we're
camera.
starting with Brian.
Hey, you guys do that too?
True Romance versus The Breakfast Club.
this is actually an easy one for me. It's going to be True Romance. I think True Romance is honestly better than most of Quentin Tarantino's directed movies, even though he only wrote this one. But I also love Tony Scott's direction. It's got, again, they just assembled such an amazing cast, top to bottom. I especially love Gary Oldman in this movie as Drexel. Breakfast Club obviously is like a kind of a classic teen comedy, especially in John Hughes. But even amongst John Hughes movies, there's probably a few I like more than that. So I'm going to go True Romance.
All right, it's one for True Romance. Jay.
See, honestly, I kind of disagree with Brian. I'm not a giant John Hughes fan the way that fucking Kevin Smith is. I'm not looking for fucking Shermer, Illinois in anything. But I actually kind of do love The Breakfast Club. I love the amalgam of everybody that they bring in and the fact that not everybody is the same, but they find some way to connect to each other. Whereas True Romance just seems disconnected and there isn't enough quippiness. No, I'm kidding. But True Romance just isn't my steez. Whereas, like, I can watch The Breakfast Club, so I gotta go with The Breakfast Club.
All right, 1-1. JPO.
Yeah, Breakfast Club obviously is great for what it's going for, but I just sway more towards True Romance. I like everything that's kind of going on. I love all the wacky characters, man. Brad Pitt, very low key. Gary Oldman's absolutely killing it here. And I don't know if I've ever enjoyed Christian Slater more, at least from what I've seen. So I gotta go more True Romance. It definitely speaks to me more.
What about Christian Slater in Alone in the Dark?
I'm not saying I'd fuck a guy, but if I had to fuck a guy, I'd fuck Elvis. Tato, what do you got between these two?
Couple of fun weed smoking scenes in these movies. I'm gonna go Breakfast Club though. I do love both films, but Breakfast Club just hits on a different level. Like I'll just get the scene where they're all in the circle and Andrew is talking about how he brought the flare gun. It just fucking gets me, man. Rips me in half.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those ones where honestly Tony Scott is the reason that True Romance isn't like my favorite movie of all time.
No wonder he killed himself.
I'm not a fan of his direction.
Jesus.
But I love Christian Slater. I love Patricia Arquette. I love obviously Brad Pitt. I love the story of this, but if I'm not 100% in the mood, Tony Scott's direction sometimes doesn't work for me. Whereas The Breakfast Club, it's never misses. Breakfast Club is one of my favorites and just gets me. I can put it on the background and just chill with it, or if I want to be emotionally invested, I can too. So it has the duality of that. So Breakfast Club easily for me. So Breakfast Club's gonna move on. Why am I?
Brian, what would you have thought about it?
He
already
went
voted first.
I know.
Oh.
That's the joke. Just because there was a lot of dead air there. That was the thing.
Tony Scott. Oh, sorry.
I give another vote to True Romance. So.
Oh, Brian negates both of his votes.
All right, we're starting with Jay on this one. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles versus La La Land.
Oh, fuck me. This is such a difficult decision. It's going to be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I don't like La La Land. I didn't watch La La Land when it came out. I literally only watched this to stop the fucking deluge of hate from the community to watch it. Is it good? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's an enjoyable movie, but I find more enjoyment when I watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles than I do La La Land. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is easy.
That's one for Planes, Trains. JPO.
You hate to say it's also kind of easy for me. I appreciate La La Land. I think it looks beautiful here. It is good. I can't argue that, but at the same time, this is why maybe I haven't seen In the Heights, because I just find musicals sometimes to drag, and there was times where I was just waiting for things to wrap up. I think a very beautiful ending here. But Planes, Trains, Automobiles, I was late to the party because it just kind of came out before my time. Absolutely hilarious. Holds up. I can see how Due Date stole from it, and it's so much better. Planes, Trains, Automobiles is great. I gotta go for that.
All right, Tato.
Planes, Trains for me as well. I echo those sentiments. Just the Steve Martin is fantastic, and then Candy kills it again. Another heart-wrenching scene with
look at that mustache.
I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Planes, Trains is a movie that I was late to as well. Ironically, a couple years ago, Paul Yama like said, "Hey, you would love this movie." I watched it, and I was like mad overhyped, maybe. So like, or I wasn't in the mood. I don't know what it was. But in the subsequent times I've watched it, 2, 3, 4, 5 times since I've watched it, now it's become a Thanksgiving staple, similar to Last Christmas. It's one of those where it's just become, there. La La Land I saw 8 times in theaters. I love it. I can sing all the songs. I have a blast with it. I'm just gonna ride the high of Planes, Trains right now. Obviously, it's already moving on with the 3, but I think I'm gonna go with the highs of Planes, Trains. I feel like it's just skyrocketing up my top 100, and it's just become a favorite. It's just I think about it more now, and maybe I've pushed similar to what I've said earlier about like Forrest Gump and all those types of movies. I took La La Land for granted, but Planes, Trains for me. Planes, Trains moving on. But Brian, which would you have gone for?
I'd have voted for La La Land. I think Planes, Trains is kind of a mid '80s comedy. It's got some funny scenes and stuff in it, but I don't know. I find it to be super overrated personally. But that's just me.
There you go. All right, we are on the last 2 matchups of the first round, not including all the stuff that we've already done accidentally, multiples. But with that said, we are starting with JPO, and we have Dr. Strangelove, or How I Stopped Worrying and Love the Bomb versus She's Out of My League.
Well, here's a sentence that'll anger movie lovers. Never seen Dr. Strangelove, so I gotta vote for She's Out of My League.
Let's go, bitch. Tato, what do you got?
I enjoy both of these films. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Dr. Strangelove here, though. I think She's Out of My League is one of those movies that's better than it should be. But Dr. Strangelove is just an absolute work, man.
Yeah. I have to be in the mood for Dr. Strangelove to get the humor. When I do, it's like S tier. But when I'm not in that mood, it just doesn't click for me as much. So it's like I've teetered with it too much. She's Out of My League has been a favorite for just so many years. It's a Henry movie. It's a banger. Webbed fucking feet. Foot long. It's great. So I'm going to go with She's Out of My League. Brian.
Dr. Strangelove, the first time I saw it, I didn't really dig it. I didn't find it that funny at all. I didn't understand what the big deal is. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Kubrick anyway, but I'm like, this is a comedy. I'll check it out. Not so much. But then I rewatched it, and I still felt the same. So, She's Out of My League.
Not gonna lie, I didn't think that's where you were going. Jay.
With a quick yoink.
Which one are you going with, though?
I love both of these movies. I really do. I think that there's a lot more comedic value in Doctor Strangelove than a lot of people give it credit for in the community. I enjoy it, but She's Out of My League. My boy drops an oyster in his pants, and
the dog licks it up.
And then my boy still pulls the girl.
And Mr. Pickles licks it up, dude.
There's so much fun in She's Out of My League. I hate the fact that I know it's going, but I love both of these movies. I gotta go She's Out of My League as well.
Good. There you go, Pirate. Good vote. Fucking Marmy, dude. All right, She's Out of My League. And now, I don't know if you guys realize what part of the bracket we're doing in terms of like lighthearted, but there's a movie that has not been brought up yet. And here we go. But this is a fucking weird matchup. Starting with Tato, we have The Big Lebowski versus Moneyball.
Oh.
Oof, Magoof. In the interest of not being kicked off stream, I'll say Lebowski. On the real Lebowski, I saw Moneyball for the first time recently. It's really fucking good, but Lebowski.
Yeah, once again, Moneyball is one of those ones where it kind of just got bumped over to this quote-unquote lighthearted thing just because of numbers. It's just similar to Social Network. Ironically, both Sorkins. Big Lebowski, obviously, Moneyball is a banger. Ironically, as years gone by, I've kind kind of fell out of baseball love, but this movie reminds me of why I always loved it growing up and why it'll always have a special place in my heart. Similar to The Social Network, where it's one of those things where it's like you don't really care about the subject matter because it's not a quote unquote baseball movie. It's behind the scenes, general manager movie, but it does a great job. But Big Lebowski is my favorite movie of all time. So I mean, it's just easy. Without the gap is too big to even consider changing it. So Big Lebowski, Brian. And I'm gonna get a drink. You guys talk for a second.
Yeah, I don't love Moneyball. I think it's okay. I never really understood all the attention it got. Although I mean, I do obviously love the Sorkin dialogue. I think Brad Pitt, especially works real well with that stuff. But it's just kind of okay movie for me. Big Lebowski is maybe my favorite Coen Brothers movie, or at least top 3. Coen Brothers are very, very hit and miss for me. There are movies I love and movies I really don't like at all, and this is one of the top ones for me. So my vote's Lebowski. Yeah.
Guys, he's gone. Let's vote for Moneyball. See what happens.
Shut up. All right, Dave, what you got?
So there are 2 things that I really like about Moneyball: fat Jonah Hill, and the fact that you and the fact that you get a look behind like the curtain when it comes to the decisions that like management has to make in sports. I always kind of enjoy that as much as some other people won't. There are, there is math. There are points that you have to make. It's this great look.
He's got an ugly girlfriend. He's got no confidence.
Exactly. There are these things that you have to look there. But one of these movies has the porno log jamming in it. No, that's not the reason why I'm choosing The Big Lebowski. I'm choosing The Big Lebowski because honestly, this is my favorite Coen Brothers film, and I know I'm lacking a little bit there, but I do enjoy this movie. I quote this movie. I've quoted this movie live on stream. I've told people to shut the fuck up, that they're out of their element. Also, it has some of my favorite made for TV quotes. This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps. This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass. This movie has comedy to it. I don't hate Moneyball, but I hate the Oakland A's, so I have to go with The Big Lebowski.
Hey, vote any way you want. And JPO, what would you have picked?
As a diehard Oakland A's fan, I gotta go with Moneyball.
I don't believe you, but okay.
Good, because I'm lying.
Good, because we knew it.
All right, so first round is officially done. Big Lebowski is moving on. A couple of these did get bounced over because we went ahead a little bit. But our first matchup, and now we're going to kind of not necessarily breeze through, but let's not go as long as we would have because we've already talked about them. But if there's something you want to bring up based on specifically the matchup, you're more than welcome to. We're starting with Tato, right?
Yes.
And our first matchup is the Nice
Chappelle.
Guys.
No.
All right, JPO. The Nice Guys versus My Cousin Vinny.
I'm gonna go Nice Guys.
Nice Guys. Tato.
Vinny.
I'm gonna go Nice Guys because it's just been a favorite a little bit longer. Brian.
Well, locking the win for Nice Guys.
Nice Guys moving on. Jay, which would you have
It
picked?
would have been My Cousin Vinny, 100%, hands down.
All right, well. And then we already did the
Now
matchup.
I know what the deer feels like.
Facts. We already did School of Rock versus Clerks. Clerks moved on. We already did I Love You Man versus In the Heights. I Love You Man moves on. Oh no, we did ironically I Love You Man versus Superbad. That moved on. And then all right. Now we're gonna go over to I was catching up a little bit with the bullshit. All right, so I'll just do 2 at a time on the screen. So 2 matchups. We're only doing the top one at first. Forrest Gump versus Coco. Tato. Sorry, I'm still figuring out. The tasting will be better later. Tato. Forrest Gump versus Coco.
I'm gonna go Coco here. While Forrest Gump is still fantastic, Coco just again hits on a different level.
Yeah, Coco's in my top 10. Forrest Gump could get back there one day, but it's not currently. Coco for me. Brian.
Forrest Gump.
All right, and Jay.
I think half of my family would disown me if I didn't vote for a certain movie. So I'm gonna vote with that in mind, and I'm gonna go Coco.
All right, Coco's gonna move on. JPO, what would you have picked?
Half of my family disowned me, and that's the dumb half. Forrest Gump.
All right. We are starting with me. 21 Jump Street versus Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Easy. Low diff. Low diff.
Starting with me, I am gonna go 21 Jump Street, but I don't know. I don't even know why. Brian,
Both funny, but I gotta go with Scott Pilgrim.
Jay,
Both funny, but I gotta go with the right choice of 21 Jump Street.
JPO.
Hey man, we all have our own opinion, Jay. But you're right this time. 21 Jump Street.
All right, 21 Jump Street's gonna move on. Tato, what would you picked?
Scott Pilgrim.
Which he hasn't seen.
We're starting with Brian. The Breakfast Club and Planes, Trains.
Oof.
Two
Between
movies you didn't vote for last time.
between the two of them, Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Jay.
Actually, between the two of these, Planes, Trains.
All right, JPO.
Don't you forget about John Candy, Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
Okay, at this point, we don't fool us anymore.
Tato.
You told us.
I will go with the Breakfast Club on this one.
And I am also going to go Breakfast Club. Planes, Trains.
Wow.
Moving up my list, but Breakfast Club's been there longer.
I don't hate that, but I also don't like it.
We are starting with Jay. The Big Lebowski versus She's Out of My League.
Oh, fuck me.
Wrong one.
There's actually no, I know. I talk more about The Big Lebowski, and I enjoy that movie. Don't get me wrong, but I think that She's Out of My League is by far probably one of those underrated comedies from the 2000s. I gotta go. She's Out of My League, just by the slimmest of margins.
All right.
Just by the slimmest of margins.
JPO.
I enjoy this chaos. Let's keep it going. She's out of my league.
Tato.
And the dude does not abide. I will go with the Big Lebowski on this one.
I am going Big Lebowski as well. Obviously, Brian. Which one is moving on to the next round?
The Big Lebowski, like I said, is my favorite Coen Brothers movie. That being said, She's Out of My League I find funnier than any Coen Brothers movie. So She's Out of My League.
Chaos! I did not see that coming. I really didn't.
I think I find it more consistently funny. There's just a lot more.
No,
stuff
I
in that movie.
get it. I get it. That movie's fucking
It's more
funny.
my style of comedy.
Plus, I think it's the most attractive Kristen Ritter's ever been when she's not being controlled by a dude who claims the color purple.
And Alice Eve, damn.
All right. So with that said, we have a matchup that we.
Henry's like, I quit. We're done.
And he's big mad. He's like, "Oh, the Big Lebowski was supposed to be in the
I
finals."
know.
Fuck
I don't
this.
know. I don't know what happened, but this one accidentally got moved on, so we didn't talk about it yet. I don't think so. So correct me if I'm wrong, but we are starting with JPO.
Yeah.
JPO, The Nice Guys versus Clerks. Did we talk about that already, or did it?
No,
move on?
we haven't talked about
I
it
didn't
yet.
think so. All right, so obviously ignore that if that's not the vote. But Nice Guys versus Clerks. JPO.
Nice guys.
All right. Tato is gonna go Clerks.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Clerks too.
This is Clerks 1.
Also. Brian,
Nice guys.
and then Jay's gonna go Clerks.
I am gonna go Clerks.
All right, so it is already there. I feel like the internet just knew. Like I feel like it just did it because we hadn't even done Nice Guys yet, and Clerks just moved on. I was like, what the fuck? All right, now we are going.
Slippery eel.
Did we do I Love You Man versus Superbad?
Yes.
Yes. Superbad slunk by.
I don't.
Superbad won that, sadly.
Well, I had I
I
Love
thought-
You Man on here. Yeah,
I thought
You
I
Man.
Love You Man one.
Yeah, I Love You Man one. All right, so we're catching up on this side of the bracket now. All right, starting with Tato, Coco versus 21 Jump Street.
Coco.
All right. I'm also gonna go Coco. Brian,
21 Jump Street.
Jay.
Coco.
All right, and JPO, what would you have gone?
I would have said 21 Jump Street.
All right, I love how it's close a lot of these times. All right, our next matchup is going to be
Fuck you.
The Breakfast Club versus She's Out of My League. I'm gonna go Breakfast Club.
She's out of my league.
Jay,
To quote Brian, she's out of my league.
JPO,
Madness has to end at some point. Breakfast Club.
and Tato.
Breakfast Club.
Ooh.
Boo.
Tato's gonna do it just for
Bad,
anarchy.
bad quote. Bad quote from Tato. Bad quote from Tato.
All right, so now we are into the final four.
Ooh, okay.
Our two matchups are Clerks versus I Love You Man, and Coco versus The Breakfast Club. Brian, Clerks and I Love You Man. Which one are you going with?
I love you, man.
I
This is
love
a
you.
weird Final Four, by the way.
It really is.
I think at some point I voted against all four of these. I'm out. Nope.
He said, I'm out. Fuck, dude. This is actually like, so this is Clerks versus I Love You Man, right?
Yeah.
It's a really difficult one for me. Honestly, because I adore both of these movies. I can watch both of these movies non-fucking stop. I gotta go. I Love You Man. As much of a fucking Kevin Smith fanboy as I am, I have to go. I Love You Man.
All right.
It's got a higher rewatchability for me.
JPO.
Can't believe you did that. I agree. I love you, man.
I Love You Man is moving on to the finals. Tato, would you have
Fuck
agreed?
me.
I would not have, but I Love You Man is fantastic. I'm not too upset, honestly.
All
I'll
right.
catch you later on the Menji.
Whenever you're going to catch us right now. Jay, I Love You Man is going to be facing Coco or The Breakfast Club. What are you picking?
I'm picking Coco.
All right.
Un poco
JPO.
loco Coco.
I'll say Coco as well.
Tato,
Breakfast Club.
Wrong choice.
I'm going to go Coco. So Coco's moving on. Brian, what would you have picked?
Breakfast Club.
Well, now I
He
learned how to get rid of
fucked
it.
up.
You would have went Breakfast Club, Brian?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. At our finals, I Love You Man versus Coco. JPO.
I love you, man.
Tato.
Yeah, these are both fantastic. I Love You Man by a pinch.
I'm going to go Coco. Brian.
You know, I've been voting against Coco since round one, and that's not going to stop now. So I love you, man.
And Jay.
You know what? I love you, bro, Montana. Yeah, it's gonna be I Love You Man.
And your winner of my top 32, quote unquote, if these were two in front of me, which one would I rather watch? Lighthearted, low stakes, aside from a couple because of, it's how it goes sometimes. I Love You Man. So, yeah, so let's go run down. Obviously, a little kinks in it, you figuring out the style and all that stuff. But with that said, Brian, what were your thoughts on, as a whole, these 32? And what were your thoughts on just the show as a whole?
It's one of those things where the matchups kind of decide things, because there's some movies where some matchups were against other movies they would have advanced, and here they didn't. Like I said, Final Four mostly wasn't my bag, but yeah, it's not my list. So it's yours. So.
What is one movie that either did make it out of the first or second round that you would have definitely had to be in your Final Four? Can you see it?
Out of these,
Yeah.
let me see. Well, Nice Guys made it pretty far. Well, True Romance and In the Heights would have been high for me.
Okay. There you go. Jay, what were your thoughts, generally speaking, on this show, and what are your thoughts on a movie that should have been higher for you?
I didn't hate it. I love both of the movies that made it to the final round. I loved almost every single movie. The Breakfast Club is probably like my lowest rated that made it to the final four. it would have been hard to vote against like My Cousin Vinny and Clerks, but I think that My Cousin Vinny should have been at least the one to move on from round 2. So yeah.
All right, and JPO, how about you?
It's hard to say because I mean nothing here lost to anything where I'm like, what in the world, you know? Because like I love Glenn Ross, so maybe that's my pick. But it lost to Forrest Gump. Like, there's nothing here that streams like, how dare it not move on, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. And last but not least, Tato.
Bunch of great movies. I'd seen the vast majority of them, so that's always a pleasant surprise. For me, Stand By Me, kind of. Got kicked out early, but again, School of Rock's fantastic, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was also a little early, of a bit of an early kick.
All right, there we go. All right, so give a little shout outs to people. Check out Brian's show over on the Movie Crusaders with Sean Waskrug. They have their podcast that they talk about movies multiple times a week. Check out everything on Full Metal Classic that Jay sometimes is a part of, sometimes isn't. I don't know. He's still figuring out. Make sure
Follow
you
me on Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch, Jizzco or whatever is it's in the Lejiz. Make sure you go to the Pierce Co. ASATs picks and lists show about wrestling, and what is it called? What's your wrestling one called?
Oh, that's over at Pierce Wrestling. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he has his other thing. And then don't follow Tato anywhere because it'll probably end up in your death. All right, with that said, my name is Henry Confidential. This is Henry Confidential Movie Talk to Movies. I forgot what it's called. I'm still figuring that out. This was part 1 of my top 128 favorite movies of all time. This is the quote-unquote lighthearted. We are actually going to do another one in a little bit for the serious dramas and kind of got to be in the mood for them. So it's going to be an interesting talk there. So with that said, my name is Henry Confidential. Shout out to you guys for doing this, and catch you guys on the flip side. Laters on the Minjay. Jobin.